And now, we bring you the following live press announcement. Our regularly scheduled program will resume following the announcement.
Good morning. As a proud Ward 1 resident and ANC commissioner, it's an honor to welcome everyone here today in Columbia Heights, right around the corner from our Powell Park and one of the district's urban farms that help remind us of how vital these public spaces are to life in our city, especially in dense urban areas like this. These spaces do more than beautify. They nourish our communities literally and bring people together. For the past decade, Mayor Muriel has led the district with determination and vision. Under her leadership, we've made real progress in public safety, expanded neighborhood cleanups, and building a stronger, more resilient city. Her administration, along with our amazing mokers, continue to lead with purpose. They're constantly finding new ways to keep our communities engaged, supported, and most importantly, thriving. And now with spring in full bloom, we're really excited to ramp up for the 8th annual spring cleaning. It's a true example of what it looks like when our community and our government work hand in hand. Thank you, Mayor Bowser, for your amazing leadership and continued commitment. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to beautiful Ward 1 in Washington, D.C. And let's give a big shout out to our beautiful boys and girls over here who are helping us kick off our cleanup. And I want to just say that everybody assembled and everybody who works for us in D.C. government knows how much I like the kickoff to the spring cleaning season. And I know that a lot of residents all over the city are also taking advantage on these spring days to clean out their yards, their alleys, their garages and closets and all of that good stuff. And so as the weather gets warmer and residents continue to take advantage of our beautiful city, we want to make sure that all of our outer spaces not only reflect the pride we have in the city, but the tremendous investments that DC residents have allowed us to make to keep our city clean, safe, and beautiful. Every spring, we roll up our sleeves to get to work, from sweeping, to alley cleanups, and of course filling up potholes. And we did have a more momentous winter this year, so I know that there will be a lot of work for DDOT to tackle. And with that said, I'm very proud to announce that we have a new member of our team who I have appointed to serve as the Mayor's Clean City Director, Maria Berry. So give me a hand in welcoming Maria to our team. Maria brings deep experience and a clear passion for this work, and she will help lead our citywide efforts to coordinate across agencies and communities, ensuring that neighborhoods have what they need for clean and welcoming spaces for residents, visitors, and businesses. And of course, our cleanup efforts are a multi-agency work, and the Department of General Services, led by Delano Hunter. I don't know if Delano is here. Give our DGS teams a big round of applause. But DGS is not only our real estate section, but in many ways our maintenance section in DC government. In DGS and the team make sure that our world-class parks, recreation centers, aquatic facilities, and public spaces are ready for summer. Who's ready for summer? Now, there's a tradition in D.C. that the mayor jumps in the pool. Who's going to be with me? People love it when you jump in the pool, I'm just going to tell you. And I also want to give a big shout out to our DPW team. Let's hear it for the Department of Public Works. I want to recognize Interim Director Crispino, and our DPW teams help us stay clean and safe year-round. And during the spring, they launch community cleans in neighborhoods that need extra attention. Whether it's an abandoned vehicle, trash buildup, illegal dumping, any of those things, we encourage you to call 311 or use the 311 app to ask for help. And we, of course, ask neighbors to organize to help your neighborhood yourself. And that could be from cleanups to leaves cleanup to organizing for one of our big trucks to come to pick up the neighborhood's bulk trash or calling us about bulk trash. All of those things are helpful. And of course, I want to recognize our team at DDOT. Give DDOT a big round of applause. DDOT is very busy, as I mentioned, fixing the damage that the winter caused. And this year, they are expanding to a new partnership with DC Water. And our DC Water crew is here, represented by Kristen Williams. Thank you, Kristen, for being here with the DC Water team, as well as Pepco. Pepco keeps the lights on and many other things. So Valencia McClure from Pepco, thank you for being here. And also Washington Gas. And Mark Simone, is Mark Simone? Thank you, Mark, for being here. Good to see you. And of course, we have to welcome our own Brandon Todd from Washington Gas and former Ward 4 council member. Give all of our utility teams a big round of applause. If I had $1 for every time a resident said, well, why are they digging up my street again? Did they just dig it up? And so that involves coordination with DDOT and all of our utilities, because they each have a job to not only provide for all of these services, gas and water and electric, they have to make sure it's safe and up to date. And sometimes that requires going in the ground. And so when we have coordination between our utilities and DDOT, we know we can not only have safe utilities, but least disruption to you. So we're going to keep working on that. The other thing I wanted to mention, I'm going to go outside my notes a little bit, because while DDOT is doing their post-winter work, we for the last 10 years have invested in what we call the state of good repair for our roads, sidewalks, and alleys. And we have this little chart that shows if the road is not in good repair, it's red. If it's in really good repair, it's bright green. And if it's getting there, you know, it's some variation of those shades. There was a lot of red when I first became mayor in 2015. But because of the hard work and steady investment of the district and our DDOT and DPW crews, I'm happy to say that most of the shades of those roadways is green. So we're going to keep it that way. But it does take some green to keep it green. Am I right? So I'm going to try to remember that during budget season, and we're going to remind the members of the council the same thing. So let me thank Director Kirschbaum for being here to represent and with all of the DDOT teams. Thank you, Director Kirschbaum. So this is our city, and we all play a role in keeping it beautiful. And I want to invite everybody to participate in the 8th annual Spring Cleanup Day on April 19th, just ahead of Earth Day. All 8 wards, all neighbors will come together to help keep our communities clean. And we have a lot of celebrations across the city, block parties and gatherings. All are ways for us to come together and also keep an eye on how we're keeping the city clean. So as we kick off our spring cleaning, let's remember that this is a team effort, all of us working together to make sure we have a clean and beautiful DC. So with that, I'm going to turn and also thank Christine Miller, our ANC Commissioner. Where did Christine go? Thank you, Christine, for that introduction. And this is a true story. Sometimes people ask me, how'd you get involved in politics? And I tell them it was about one of the ways I got involved was because of an abandoned vehicle. Part of the reason I'm mayor now is because there was an abandoned vehicle in an alley that I just couldn't take anymore. And I thought maybe I should run for something and work on fixing that. And so we know the job of our ANC commissioners is a voluntary one representing 2,000 neighbors to advise the mayor and the council and all of DC government on how to best serve all of our neighborhoods. So we're very grateful for our ANCs and the role that they play. So with that, I want to ask the representatives from our utility companies to come up and say a few words about working with DC to keep us all moving. I'm going to start with Kristen Williams from DC Water.
Thank you, Mayor Bowser. We sincerely appreciate the opportunity to be a part of the district's spring cleaning and certainly DDOT's Operation Smooth Streets. By partnering with DDOT and our neighboring utilities to streamline the process for repaving streets, we will not only be more efficient, but will save significant time and money and limit customer concerns and disruptions. And we know that's most important to the mayor. This type of coordination is critical to the communities we serve. We have about 450 locations currently awaiting street restoration from the unusually cold winter we experienced this year. This includes streets related to our lead-free DC program, which is our signature program to replace all lead service lines in the District of Columbia, our typical infrastructure improvements, and our day-to-day repair work. We understand the inconvenience caused by this work and sincerely appreciate our customers' patience. This work is important as it ensures we have safe drinking water and reliable water and sewer service. Working with DDOT and our utilities, neighboring utilities, will help us address the backlog from this winter and restore neighborhoods' streets in a very timely fashion. And the savings can be substantial. For example, by coordinating with DDOT's Paid DC program, we saved our customers and the residents of the District of Columbia nearly $400,000. As DC Water ramps up our lead service line replacements, these types of partnerships with DDOTs and our fellow utilities will be even more critical. This year, we expect to replace more than 3,500 lead service lines in the district and also excavate test pits at nearly 10,000 homes to verify the pipe material. Having this partnership will ensure the streets and communities we serve are better than we found them, and as the mayor said, keep that line green on your chart. We look forward to our continued collaborative efforts with Mayor Bowser, Director Kirschbaum with DDOT, and sincerely our fellow neighboring utilities, Washington Gas and Pepco. Thank you, Mayor. Valencia McClure, Pepco.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I'm Valencia McClure with Pepco, and it is indeed my pleasure to be here this morning alongside Mayor Bowser and our fellow utility partners and also with DDOT. So I do want to thank Mayor Bowser and DDOT and our colleagues at Washington Gas and DC Water for their leadership and commitment to improving the quality of life and safety for every resident of our nation's capital. Pepco is proud to serve the residents and businesses of Washington, D.C., and we are equally proud to partner with the district on initiatives like spring cleaning and smooth streets that enhance the everyday life of the residents that live here in D.C. We know that infrastructure, although needed, can be disruptive, but when it's done right, it creates lasting value. That's why we are committed to coordinating our efforts with DDOT, Washington Gas, DC Water, and others to ensure that once we complete our infrastructure projects, the roads are restored, not just patched, but restored and paved to the highest standard. When multiple utilities are working in the same area, it just makes sense to ensure that we have the coordination and communication that is needed so we can do dig once, restore once approach. That's the kind of forward-thinking, customer-first planning our communities and residents expect and deserve. We always like to say that everything we do at Pepco, we do for reliability, resilience, and capacity, which is an example of what we're doing currently with our DC Plug initiative, Capital Grid, where we just energized the Harvard substation the end of 2024. And then coming up here in Ward 1 is our Champlain substation that will begin construction work in June of this year. We look forward to continuing this partnership. And we always like to say not only do we work in this area, we live in this area, we're a part of the community as well. And through our More Than Energy, just in Ward 1, we have partnered with the Petworth Celebration, Columbia Heights Day, Adams Morgan Porch Fest, the Urban League, huge partner and supporter of, and of course, multiple utility events. We look forward to continuing this partnership, and we thank Mayor Bowser and her administration, our fellow utilities, for their shared commitment to excellence. Together, we're not just keeping the lights on, we're paving the way for a stronger, smoother, and more connected Washington, D.C. Thank you so much. And at this time, I would like to invite Mark Simone, Vice President of Washington Gas, to come forward.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I'm Mark Simone. I'm the Vice President of Construction for WGL Gas. And I want to thank Mayor Bowser and DDOT Director Kirschbaum for putting this event on and inviting WGL to participate. The Smooth Streets program allows us collectively to quickly repair our hard surfaces that were affected by the winter due to construction. Of course, this past winter has been especially brutal with the cold weather, snow, and ice. And WGL really wants residents and visitors to have the safest walkways and roads. On average, WGL paves about 30 lane miles of roadway every year in the district. A lot of this is due to road cuts we'll do to get to our infrastructure below ground. When we come back and repair that, we want to make the area better than it was before, and we often do it beyond our work sites and our work area. And again, the processes that Mayor Bowser and Director Kirschbaum have put together for creating this program really allows us to do this efficiently in partnership with fellow utilities as well as DDOT and the city. I look forward to continuing this partnership and utilizing processes like these that will allow us to get infrastructure efficiently upgraded within the district. And lastly, I'd just like to express what a privilege it is for WGL to serve the residents of DC. We've been here for 176 years, providing energy to the residents, and we're looking forward to the next 176 years. Thank you. Mayor?
Thank you. Okay. I think we're ready to take a few questions, and on topic first. Any questions? Okay, I'm going to do the press questions, and then I'll get to you. Okay, yes.
On this spring clean initiative, is any of this tied to the task force that President Trump created, and are you targeting specific areas? I noted this morning there were crews picking up trash along Suitland Parkway, a road that the president and dignitaries travel frequently, coming in and out of Andrews. And I'm just wondering if that plays any role in either how this is rolled out or specific target areas.
No, Mark, as was mentioned, I think this is the 8th year that we've had an annual spring cleanup. We always look at calls for service, and when we're directing our crews in roadways. We do have crews, and recently I have, in the last 6 months or so, maybe year or so, we have a Clean Corridors crew that is an additional DPW crew that is on a lot of main thoroughfares where we have a lot of litter. So that's the crew you probably saw. Yes.
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. Jenny with the Washington Post. You sent a letter to the chair people of both Appropriations Committee and Congress today, and I first just wanted to ask if you'd heard anything back yet.
No.
And the letter obviously outlined the 6% increase that you're authorized to make and was notifying them about that, but there's still $410 million in potential cuts. What's your message to residents about what might be expected if those cuts go into effect?
So what you're referring to, Jenny, is a notification that I sent to the Congress that is outlined in both federal statute and DC statute that allows the city to increase an approved budget up to 6% if revenues indicate that we have those revenues. And so I notified the Congress that we have to do that over the 24 budget because of this anomaly in the CR that was passed in December. So let me be clear. We need the Congress to act. What we're doing is a stopgap. It doesn't address the issue. And as you mentioned, it leaves still hundreds of millions of dollars of money that we have that will be in the bank that cannot be used on critical service for the residents of the District of Columbia. So it is a notification. It is not a fix for the entire problem. And so we will still be working with the members of Congress to help us get there. Yes.
Rebecca with 7 News. How would any potential spending freezes impact public safety?
I don't want to right now when the cuts that we have to make, and we will, let me be clear, have to plan for those immediately, we'll announce them at once.
Budget is in the overall budget. Cuts can be expected there.
Like I said, I'm going to say it all at once. Now that we're kind of at a point where I have to advance that possibility.
And going off of that, why make this move now as opposed to earlier on in the process here?
We believe that the fix would happen and that we wouldn't be kind of running around planning for cuts that wouldn't happen.
Confident that the fix could still happen, even with this Plan B, if you will?
We will continue to work with the Congress. Yes, Mark.
Mayor Bowser, you're surrounded by a lot of D.C. government employees right now. On the phone call with reporters this morning, staff said that there would have to be furloughs and rifts. Then we were told there probably wouldn't be layoffs. So can you clarify for D.C. government employees, should they be worried that they may either lose overtime or lose their jobs, either permanently or temporarily because of this?
Mark, I think when you talk about cutting $400 million, in some ways it's hard to call it a cut because the money is available. It's not like we're talking about cutting services because we don't have the money. We do have the money, but we have to have an approved appropriation from the Congress to spend our own money. And given the amount of time we have left in our fiscal year, 6 months, I can't take off the table job impacts.
Mayor Bowser, David Kaplan with Fox 5 here. Can you just, obviously your ideal scenario is that they pass the fix, the Senate does. Can you
the House.
I'm sorry, the House.
Mm-hmm.
Can you please just give us a timeline of when we may see some of these impacts should that not be fixed, which we know is likely to obviously not happen in the next 2 weeks while they're out?
Well, immediately we will limit spending in the government. I think that's the immediate thing that I will notify all of mayoral agencies, and we will be earnestly planning a revised 25 budget that reflects those changes.
And my follow-up, I know this has been a whole of government approach to lobby on the Hill. Can you just speak as the mayor of this city, what you're feeling right now, sort of navigating all of this when you weren't necessarily expecting to have to a month ago?
Well, I can only tell you how frustrating it is. Right now, what we're doing today is talking about progress. In some ways, we're talking about even more intense partnerships with the federal government. At the same time, the federal government would be limiting us from using our own money in a rushed way, in a haphazard way almost, which is never how you want to run a railroad. Yep.
Hi, Mayor Bowser. Nick Iannelli with WTOP News. Have you been told why the fix hasn't been passed in the House yet? Have you had any communication as to why this hasn't happened yet?
All I can say is that the House didn't get to it. That's really a question for the Speaker of the House.
Why did you think it would happen already? You indicated that you thought that this would have already happened. Why did you think that?
Oh, I thought that because we had a bipartisan bill that came out of the Senate. We have the full-throated support of the President of the United States. This bill doesn't save 1 penny of federal dollars, and it was perfectly teed up for a vote. That's why.
Sorry. Mayor Rebecca with Channel 7 again. How far along are you on the fiscal year 26 budget, and how soon do you hope to get that budget and the supplemental to the CFO?
The fiscal 26 budget is done from our perspective, and there is some consideration of if we can send it to the CFO without the 25 budget. You know, it's real inside baseball, but they speak to each other, so it's kind of hard to send the 26 without the 25 resolved. But if there are things that the CFO could be doing with the 26 while that's happening, we'll certainly work with them on that.
And how soon do you hope to have the 25 resolved?
I'm not sure.
Mayor Bowser,
Yes.
two questions. One, on the following up on that question about the 26 budget. So I know you don't like the term pencils down, but I guess your pencils down for that.
We're done.
And can I ask, does it include funding for a stadium, for an NFL stadium?
One thing, Mark, in deciding how we're going to move it forward through our process, which is CFO to council, we'll also be talking about how we can start communicating about what's in it. And hopefully that'll be sooner rather than later.
And then can I go back to the task force? You sent a letter, I believe, last week to the task force.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard back about that letter, and have you been invited to join the task force?
The district is not a part of the task force. That is I don't know how do you say, a group of federal agencies, of which we are not.
Director Green, in his memo that you received inviting you to that meeting, indicated that he wanted to invite a district government representative to be on the task force. You haven't had that invitation yet, I'm guessing.
Like I said, we're not on the task force. But to the extent, Mark, and I want to be clear about this, that there is a focus on our shared priorities. We want to be helpful, and we also want them to be helpful to us. At this point, additional resources to focus on those areas has not been identified or provided, and we're going to continue to encourage the president, let me say, to focus on those shared priorities and how he can best be helpful.
Can you please say when this 2009 law sort of came across your desk as a possibility to utilize this option? And then the follow-up to that is just the conversations thus far with council about sort of negotiating all of this.
We've had meetings with council members and government officials, and we have been exploring all of our options throughout this kind of, I'm going to call it a snafu in the House. Yes.
Mayor, just another follow-up on fiscal year 25. I know there isn't a timeline yet as far as when you hope to get it to the CFO, but given he needs 10 days to certify to then bring it to the council, I mean, how soon are you hoping to get it out there, and is there any concern that you won't meet that 30-day deadline?
I'm not sure what you're referring to.
So the 30-day deadline outlined in your letter as it relates to the supplemental budget, the adding...
It's not a deadline. It's a notice period.
So are you saying the supplemental budget wouldn't need, that 6% wouldn't need to be adjusted for within 30 days?
It's irrelevant. I think that's irrelevant. Okay. Any other questions? All right. Thank you, everybody.
We now return to our previously scheduled program, already in progress.
One, two. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Are you guys interested in getting any B-roll of us doing some spring cleaning work? Okay. All right.
I was like, is she gonna do it?
No.
Oh, my bad. I'm not recording. You find it. My bad. Just yes, I know John, but I don't even know.
PEPCO alumni. PEPCO.
Yeah, I was over that turkey thinking and I thought about it. You got a mom, boy, you are a mom.
You saw me when they did it.
Good to see you. We gotta catch up. Nice to meet you. See you, man.